Folklore tales and stories have been written all through this old land for centuries. From tales of mythical creatures, haunted locations, and local heroes, you're never too far away from them. Welcome to Folk and Fable. In this first episode, we'll travel to the county of Buckinghamshire to explore the tale of a local rector who was said to have performed some particularly splendid miracles way back in the 13th century in a little village by the name of North Marsden. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the peculiar tale of the devil in the boot. How are you doing, folks, and welcome to my new channel, Folk and Fable. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. It's so damn good to be back, my friends. And so let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing on this channel. So we and us lot will tumble down the rabbit hole of some lovely little British folklore tales, if I can get me gob round it sometimes. And these tales will contain all manner of strange quirkiness, from highwaymen, ghosts, fairies, witches, cryptids, murderers, and everything in between, and including local heroes, which in my opinion is the kind of stories that have helped shape this old and historic land. And in particular, I'll be telling you a little bit more about the local, but more or less unheard of ones that you might not have anything to go off to actually gain knowledge from it all. So yes, and I might indulge myself with like a longer and more well-known one now and again, but for the most part, I'm going to kind of keep things small. So we're going to have actually time to put these things together and help keep the channel going. So I'm hoping that if I find these little stories and locations interesting, and of course somewhat amusing, then you just might too. But most of all, we're going to have a lot of fun telling these tales from the locations that they came from. This is kind of something that I like the most. It's absolutely fantastic to hear and or read about these folklore stories, but I will try to tell them from the locations and get myself woven into the fabric of it all. For me, it's just flipping marvellous. So to do this in this way and see these places with your own eyeballs, touch and feel, and really like get into the crux of it all. So let's get going. Well, before we skip merrily together down the folklore rabbit hole, could I cheekily ask you to please click that like button and subscribe to my new little channel? Then this video will hopefully find its way down many more rabbit holes. Thank you. As you've seen by now, I've hopped across the border of my home county of Hertfordshire into Buckinghamshire to North Marsden. The miraculous rector in this story goes by the name of Johnschorne. He became quite famous here for performing some rather astonishing miracles, and this beautiful stone building I'm in right now was his church from 1290 to 1319. The church is called St Mary's. The original church was built in the 12th century and more than likely on the site of a small Saxon church, as quite a few others were back then. This church is the oldest building in this wonderfully historical village of North Marsden, and for 3 centuries the church was administered by Dunstable Priory, from which the village's most celebrated rector, Johnschorne, came from. The priory is about 15 to 16 miles east of here, as the crow flies. Right then, where have I gone? Oh yes, I'm here. Johnschorne was a very devout religious man, and during his time here in North Marsden was believed to have performed a number of miracles, including the discovery of a freshwater spring. Now, You may think, what's so great about that? But it's kind of the way that it's said that he discovered it. The story goes that in one very hot summer, the village and the surrounding area was suffering a great drought. Crops were perishing and the villagers' prayers were getting desperate. So John was very moved by the prayers of his congregation, so decided to take active measures to supply their need. He walked down the hill from the church and whilst in prayer struck his staff upon the ground, and immediately there burst forth a perennial freshwater spring. Did he hit a pipe? Well, I doubt it. It's the 13th century. But in my mind, I'd like to think this strike of his staff on the ground was a bit like Gandalf facing the Balrog. You shall not pass. Johnschorne had saved the village from drought, but because of this divine act, the water was deemed to be holy and alleged to have healing properties, particularly for gout and ague, which, if you didn't know, is an old-fashioned term for English malaria. Johnschorne's most famous act was yet to come. This came about when he's said to have performed an exorcism on a woman suffering from epilepsy. It was considered by some back then that epileptic fits were a sign of demonic behaviour, and to keep the villagers happy, John had to perform the exorcism. And in doing so, he drew out the devil of the woman and cast it into a boot. A boot, I hear you say. Well, why a boot? I don't really know. Maybe it was the first thing he had to hand. The question is though, was it the devil himself, or was it one of his little wizards? 'Tis a wonderful little story, but a possible explanation for this odd account could be that an old saying for gout was actually called the devil in the boot, due to its excruciating, if I can get my gob around that one, excruciating pain it caused with inflammation of the toe joints, usually due to bad diet. Johnschorne unfortunately passed away in 1314, and the much loved and popular rector was buried in the north chancel of St Mary's, right here. His shrine became the third most popular pilgrimage in the country, behind Canterbury and Walsingham. Over the decades, the shrine and the well became very lucrative for the local church and district, as word of it had spread far and wide. But in 1478, Richard Beauchamp, the Bishop of Salisbury, was thinking meddling thoughts. North Marsden is getting too much attention, he was thinking, so he sought a license to Pope Sixtus to move Johnschorne Shrine from North Marsden to the Royal Chapel in Windsor. This was a very strategic move by the church, as the bishop wanted to cash in on the shrine's popularity. The shrine was eventually moved and pilgrimages started to wane in North Marsden, but not entirely, as they had the well and its healing waters. Even King Henry VIII is said to have visited here in 1511 and 1521 to help cure his gout. Many years passed and the well was being visited less and less, until 1835 it regained its healing reputation. Of course, if it ever lost it, when North Marsden's inhabitants survived a cholera outbreak which swept through the area unscathed. Many said it was because of the holy well and its healing waters, and who's to say the well wouldn't have helped if it was kept clean. The well was used as a primary source of water for the whole village through the centuries, but one fateful July morning in 1861, a local woman named Jane Watson went to draw water with her daughter. There's a rhyme in there somewhere. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Anyways, back to the discerning tale. The well and its cistern were housed with stone walls and a small doorway. Once inside, there were 4 narrow steps down to the water. The interior wasn't much more than, say, 5 foot square, and the water was nearly 7 foot deep. As Jane cautiously picked her way down to the water, she suddenly lost her balance, slipped, and fell into the cistern. Her young daughter wasn't strong enough to pull her out, so she ran to find help. But it was in vain. Jane had sadly drowned. Soon after, the local authorities declared this simply could not happen again, and the well was closed for public use. In the early 20th century, the well was altered and covered with a heavy sloped trapdoor, which made it look a bit like a coal bunker, and a pump was erected beside it for the convenience of the locals. The trapdoor structure was here until around about 2004, when the site was reborn with a triangular oak building, a tiled floor, a new pump and trough, and a wonderful tribute to their much-loved rector, Johnschorne, and a boot with a devil inside it, which I'll show you in a bit. Well folks, I hope you enjoyed that one. I definitely did, but it ain't over yet. So the only reason I haven't showed you the site of the well yet is because there's a road around it and there's houses that overlook under you. So we're gonna have a look down there in a minute. But you know, I didn't want to do it down there and you know you overlooked constantly and make a mistake left, right, and centre, which I have been. So I thought it best just to do it at the church. So come on then, let's get down there and have a look at this lovely well and the pump and the devil in the boot. Come on. So folks, this is the well. Wonderful little thing it is. So constructed in 2004, 2005. Just to commemorate the fantastic rector, Johnschorne, local hero. And here, I believe, well there's the boot. You can see the boot, and I think I can see two little horns sticking out of it. I do like this as well, to be fair, before we get on that one. I like this, he's got the old devil in a headlock. Come here, you little scallion. Right, shall we see if we can get the devil to come out? Right folks, let's give this a whirl. Jesus. I can see this is going to take some time. Here he comes. And there he is, the devil in the boot. Devils do exist. Well folks, I hope you enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed this one. First one back for me as well. So please like and subscribe and do all that wonderful stuff you always used to do, and hopefully some of my old channel members will come onto this new channel and we'll have this little fantastic journey together. So from me, Mark, and the devil in the boot, I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da.